want to do a quick little, sorry, quick little review, pre-review of a book, an audiobook I'm about to listen to for the next like 6 hours or however long this thing is. I just bought it for a credit. I've been holding on to my credits on Audible for like, I don't know, like 2 weeks or something like that. No, a week. Sorry, a week. And I was like, I want something quality. I know for a fact is going to entertain me. Sorry, entertain me. But I've been scrolling through stuff myself, like, kind of. So you can make your list in your head of like, I'm going to listen to this, I'm listen to that. Okay, that one's more at the top of the list. This one's not really at the list. That's kind of like, no, I don't want to listen to that. So you scroll through stuff, and it's like, okay, that one's a good contender. That's pre-order. Okay, come on, something else. That's pre-order. It's like, okay, so apparently on May 9th is also going to be the pre-order release dates for these two titles. Of a series is I am currently still liking and am interested in seeing. But those were pre-orders. That's for another week. So I'm like, okay, sure. Or sorry, 2 weeks. So it's like, okay, fine. So what is there that is a series that because I want something I know I'll like. So if it's a series I'm already liking, and it's a book I'd be interested in. So it's kind of like if I like one, I'm pretty sure I like the other. So I'm scrolling through, and I'm scrolling through, and I'm scrolling through. And I divide it by series, and I just scroll through. It's like, yeah, okay, waiting for that. Those are gone. Shame. But all right, he left Audible for whatever reason. A couple of people left Audible. Surprise, surprise. Um, and so I scroll through, and I finally get to this one series. I was curious because it only had the first three books out. Yeah, 3 books, and I kept wondering. It's like, well, when is the next book out? Because years and years ago, in the late teens, 20 teens, um, back when I used to, or was it even before then? I can't remember how far back, but I know I started listening to Audible and all that back when I was being a janitor last time at Disney. Ugh, with contract services, ABM thing, contract services again. Doing the same job 3 times with 2 companies. I know. Trying to explain that one. Anyway, so right around then, so I started listening not just to YouTube stuff, like Rindy. Yeah, that was the misspelling of read me. That was a trip. Uh, or not Snowfall, but Crash, Total Crash, something Crash or something Crash. And the first Immortals and the Truth Machine and all that. That's when I first started getting into these things because I'm just stuck there, just vacuuming for like 4 hours, so I might as well listen to something all night. So, the audiobooks I used to get into because then you can just download them and listen. Really helped me out through that. So throughout that and 2018, when I used to be a parking lot attendant, those helped a lot too. And one of the series is during 2018 and 19 when I got my job. Well, 2019 and 20 when I did that job was this whole. It's hard to explain. It's such a big story. Basically, well, the title is called A Super Sale on Superheroes. So when I first got this thing, my thought was like, this guy's gonna get this harem of supers, and he's gonna buy them on the black market, and he's gonna train them, and they'll fight crime or something like that. I didn't know exactly what to expect, but it sounded like an interesting title, so I bought it for $20 or whatever at the time, and I downloaded it and I listened to it, and I noticed right off there's no altruism in this series. I feel like for people to do the right thing or the moral thing, you're not going to get it here. What's right and best for themselves is more closer to what you're going to get. Remember, these aren't selfish bastards. These are people who don't cause bad things, but they will do stuff that's in their favor, it's in their best interest too, because it's a corporation, not a herodom. No matter how hard the the Heroes League in the series proclaims to be, as we'll see. Anyway, point is, this guy named Felix, that's his name, Felix, and he goes on to the dark web or whatever. Oh, sorry, premise, set up premise. That's what you do. Set up premise. This is not this world which we live in. It's similar to this world, but it's an alternate world where people have superpowers. There are supers running around. This, hence the Hero League. So you have your Justice League-ish type people running around, solving crimes and stopping bad guys. So you get the idea. So basically, think DC, but just with the powers. Okay, sorry. Just think DC or Marvel. That's close enough. Anyway, so all this big stuff's going on in the background, and Felix is just an ordinary guy. He's there, just trying to live a life. Hates his job. He is a trust fund kid. Unfortunately, his trust fund is managed by a conglomerate or something, some sort of legal team of something, like a bunch of lawyers or something. So his monthly allowance from his parents, who were apparently very, very rich, his monthly allowance is like jack all. It's like, you're giving me pennies on the dollar here, dude. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? And so his life kind of sucks, and his superpower kind of sucks too, because it's like, well, if I own something, let's see if I could grab something I can bring on the camera. Okay, randomly, let's say this standard car charger, some item that he can buy off of somebody with his power. I know it's a bit hard to explain, but it's like MMORPG stat window, basically. It's a stat window he has. And so it's like his universe is a video game somehow, but it's not a game. But his stats presented as such. So if he buys this for like, I don't know, a point or some sort of point system, then he gains a point. So every time he owns something, he can then control it. He can then turn it to dust and turn it into points. Or he can use points to create something or add on something or give it a ruling. Or buy supers off the dark web or just got tortured, maimed, and damn near almost killed, skinned alive, sent to his house, where he finds them in a crate, and it's like, okay, not exactly in the best shape I wanted them, but they're alive, whatever. Doc memory, and begin the healing process. Okay. So he gets to think, I bought them, they're his. So he nurses them back to health and gets enough accumulated points to heal them back to normal and give them power-ups. So as the this thing starts to snowball, but more and more and more, he gets more money, buys more people, and then with more people, he's able to get more points and then soups them up. So it's this organism that gets bigger and bigger and bigger, or organization. And it's interesting seeing this guy go from, ordinary guy-ish level of, money and power to getting this small band of merry men, or a guild of. So this is a small group of supers and various different powers and stuff and capability. And he says, "Okay, I got enough points. What do you want? I mean, I own you, but I don't want to make your life a living hell. I don't want you to be my slave. But yes, technically you are. But I want to give you something. What do you want?" And the dwarf, yes, there are dwarfs in this world. The dwarf lady says, "I want to be a foot taller," and various other things. And he's like, "Okay, is that it? Yeah, okay, it cost me 5,000 points." And click, or click, and she suddenly grows like a foot, and whatever add-ons you wanted. It's like, no, I'm fine. Yeah, I'll go work for you. And that's basically it. And things. He has a sorceress on his side. He has, a duplicator lady on the other. It was what became the series mascot and semi-fan favorite. And it just grows from there, and people begin to take notice, particularly the street hoods, the crime syndicates, begin to take notice of him and try to send in like spies and people to crash into his company. So this guy's always under threat of somebody not liking him. Not remember, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't flex his power. He doesn't go out and cause other people's problems. It's just the fact that he's a growing presence. Basically, he's a growing power set. He doesn't do anything, but they're afraid of what he might do. Hence, the Cold War and all that other crap. It's not what they've done, but what they might do, because they might be an issue, because they're strong enough to be something. So if they choose to go after us, we might be at odds, or they might be greater than us. Who's to really say? So this is more of everyone else is trying to take out the competition before he gets too big. Problem is they constantly keep failing because they keep underestimating this guy and his crew of motley character supers, who are actually decent fighters. And he keeps making them powerhouses. So yeah, they're capable of handling almost everything that comes literally bursting through their door. That's what the next 3 to 4 books is really about. Is just him growing his empire bigger and bigger, accumulating more slaves, and people come in. They're all like, "Oh man, I'm sold into slavery, man. Oh man, wait, we got pancakes and waffles." It's like, oh well, that's not so bad. Okay, so we get pancakes, sausages, 5 different kinds of syrup. It's like, okay, this is not a bad start. Big long tables of people eating stuff. And he comes up and says, "Hi, yes, you're enslaved to me. Okay, that's not exactly the best foot to start on. Pancakes are free in the back, and this is everything, benefit. You will work for me. You're going to give 100%, since I, own you, but I don't want you to feel enslaved. I want you to feel like this is kind of an involuntary best job you're ever going to freaking have, because I'm going to give you the ability to do your job really, really freaking well." So, and he says, "Oh, and by the way, you get dental, family, and everything else." And they're like, "Oh, okay, well, people are, you're going to do a job you're actually really good at. So if you're an accountant, you're going to be an accountant. You're not going to, shovel coal." So everyone's put more in their thing. He gives people abilities that they kind of sort of had, and it's like, okay, now I'm like really good at my job. I can do this now. I'm smart, or just give people smart points, or capability points. So people are being very efficient. They can now. They do this, they do that. The people are liking this guy because they make their lives actually pretty damn good. And so he starts building this empire, and the Heroes League and everything else is just coming at them. And you're just like, Jesus Christ. It's like, can't we just go a week? And then the gods come into it. And you think the supers were bad enough. No. And the next installment, the last installment I read back in 2019 or whatever, before all this, COVID shit went down, like the year prior, or year of, or whatever. In 2018, 19, something like that, I was listening to this thing when I was over there at Fontana State U, and I'm listening to this while I'm doing my job. Remember, I'm just standing around like a lot of this time, so having this play in the background on a headphone is actually pretty nice. And hearing the Heroes League decimate the city, and then somebody causes the Armageddon, because that's when the gods come into it, and it's like, oh, for crying out loud. And it's like the Armageddon, like out of Buffy and Angel, where like there are monsters in the sewers, and of course the zombified remains of one of his cohorts, who does love him, is the insane crazy one, who literally wills herself back to life, crawls into the sewers to handle this thing, gets torn apart, but still fights this thing to the death. It's insane. I swear to God, it's insane. But the apocalypse was put on hold by the resident, I forget who the second one was, but the first one was the sorceress he gets, one of the first magic users he has. Her ability is to suck souls out. And she says, "Man, when I learned the dark arts, It's like that was intense. Then I ripped the soul out of this asshole who wanted to like hurt me, or lawyer or whatever wanted to hurt him. No, she was the lawyer. Sorry, she was the lawyer, and the guy who committed like murder or something like that. Like she murdered him. I kept murdering all the bad guys. I could tell these are bad guys. So it's like the bodies were starting to pile up. So the police came a knocking. So I left. And when I killed my first hero, I was like, that was a big power boost. So she was kind of going on lam and kind of being a bit of a villain. But she comes back into it, and I forget what her thing was. Her understudy, not understudy, but like a apprentice or whatever. I think was also a magic, not magic, but a psychic user. Yes, psychic user. Um, they sacrifice themselves to saving the realm, the world that's in mid-apocalypse by stuff. I can't explain how it works, but it's a portal on top of a portal without it collapsing somehow. But they're stuck there, and Felix can't go there. And the god said, well, I can't exactly help you get there, but sorry. That's it. So this is the book where he comes back and says, oh, right, I managed to figure out a way to help you get them back. That's what this thing's about, so I'm about to get into it. So I want to give you this pre-review of the series so far, then get on this, and then when I'm done with it, probably in about a week, come back and tell you about it, how it went. So I'm rather curious. It's not a boring world, and I rather like the power-ups he gives people. He's able to de-age. Like his power is on par with a god by the end. Like he's able to resurrect the dead. So even people who have like dead families back home, like, yeah, my mom died last year. We could dig up the corpse. I'll sell you it. And then what does he do? Once he owns it, he says, boom, resurrection. Boom, that's it. No, just like that. No, nothing. He checked. It's as if it never happened. The person's fine again. So people are like, well, we got some ashes here. And I think, well, that might work. But then also the villains caught on to what was going on and then proceeded to burn his underlings at the TV studio or something like that. It's like, why are they burning everyone? So they could scatter the ashes so I can't resurrect them. Because I need something. So if I scatter the ashes of the four winds, there's nothing I can do about it. So it's like, quick, save them. These people in the room and all this stuff. So he really is dedicated to his people. And I really do like the dynamic he has with the sorceress. Like when they start building, or still in the beginning of building the empire, they go to the lawyers because he's not getting a lot of money. He says, we need more money. So he has her be his lawyer, and they get, spippied up, and they go over there, and now remember what I said? And he's like, yes, dear. That moment, she turns and looks at him. This, and like, takes it a bit more seriously. Like, all right, I'll take this seriously. But I like the snide, browbeaten in submission husband response of, yes, dear. I love that. I love that response. It's just gets me every dang time I think about it. But yeah, so, and there are no real heroes or villains in this story. It's all just a bunch of gray area, because every not corporation, but every party that's in this story has done bad things. Hell, even our lead characters have done bad things, but kind of more only when they have to. Not suppose they just do it for the, for the hell of it. They do it because, well, someone else is trying to kill them epically. So, and it could be the Heroes League or the Villains League or some other government, So it gets, bigger and bigger stakes. When he meets his cousin, half brother from another realm, that was a thing. So he meets the Conan Barbarian version of himself, who's also a bit magic. It's a thing. His name was Victor, or something like that. And yeah, it was rather interesting. I think someone's been watching Naruto. So I'm gonna go eat. And I'm gonna listen to this for a bit, just to like the first chapter or so. And yeah, I highly recommend it, along with I think it was like Neil Diamond, Neil Gaiman. Snow Crash. Yeah, Snow Crash is what it was. Uh, that thing's weird. I mean, the whole Babylonian tablet. I mean, there's a guy with broken shards of glass under his coat that he brings out and basically tears people apart. You know, and the lady with the scooter. Oh god! And trying to deliver a pizza that's running late, and there's a counter. There's a digital display on the pizza box that says how long this pizza was made. So this whole thing about trying to the whole opening act is about delivering a pizza on time. I swear to God, they make that sound epic. Uh, but yeah, Snow Crash, and the whole thing with that guy and the girl in the morning after. Not regret, but just embarrassment. Just close the blinds on the helicopter. Oh god, that just gets me every damn time. Oh. Okay. Enough about other books. So yeah, check out Super Sale on Superheroes. Uh, and see what you think about it. And if you want, I will also do a review on Snow Crash and Ring D. I think I already did Ring D. I think. But yeah, well, I'll make reviews, more in-depth details on these things. I actually know people's names in a lot of these books. All right, well, take care, and as always, see you at the movies.